Me 27 male and my wife 27 female started out great. Dating for 2 years. We had some troubles like everyone does, but some fights lasted for even a month and I had my doubts and red flags. But didn't want to see them since I was so madly in love with her that I wanted to please her every desire and need. So after a year and a half of a relationship, I decided to break up and take some time out after we couldn't stop arguing about a simple and stupid thing like why am I still following some exes on IG even though after she told me she was hurt by it I unfollowed immediately, since it meant nothing to me and I don't use the social networks anyway almost at all. But she continued the fight for over a month. How I could have done that to her. So after about a month of not seeing each other, we decided to get back together. She said she changed. She saw that it was immature and so on. After dating for another half a year, I decided to propose and we got married in the next month. Now the marriage started great. I bought an apartment for us. We started decorating it, etc., and we had our minds on that, every day venturing off to buy new things, hanging out together, etc. But she started to nag me again about the stupidest things like why I haven't asked her if she was hungry after she woke up. Why have I stopped hanging out with her even though I only spend time with her 24/7? Haven't seen my friends at all for those 3 months. But her definition is that I stopped talking about us when I'm with her. I didn't tell her that we should stop thinking about apartment and everything and talk about us for a bit, even though we do that all the time while doing other things. We had a fight about why I started caring less for her. When one day I spent arguing with her until 5 a.m. about why I watch TV instead of pay attention to her, and afterwards woke up at 7 a.m. to go to work, and when she woke up at 12 p.m. I forgot to tell her to take her medicine for her asthma. Anyways, these past 3 months we spent a total of 6 days without a single argument. I know since I saw the pattern and started counting the days when everything went peaceful. I also tracked my pattern of behavior to see what changes when everything is fine and when she starts all the arguments. But I haven't been able to recognize any changes in my behavior. It's just that one day she has her good day and the same thing that I do the next day starts bothering her and she starts fighting me. I'm not allowed to talk to anyone besides her about our problems. So I'm here on this subreddit to try and talk to some strangers since I'm afraid that she might find out I talked to someone about us and that would start a whole new fight. I told her that this was a crazy way to live and that I don't intend to live like this my whole life. She agreed, but told me she also didn't marry a guy she is in a marriage at the moment, that she wanted a completely other guy that I was when we were in a relationship even though nothing has changed. The only thing that changed was that we didn't live together when we were dating and just started living together after we got married. I told her that I need some time for myself when we're at home. Since I had that time at my place when we were not together, need some time to recharge the batteries. To not think about anything, to just chill from time to time. But she told me that I used to tell her I'd love to live with her when we were in relationships so we could spend every moment together, and she took that literally. She thinks that 24/7 I am supposed to be next to her and talk about us and our relationship, etc. It's really exhausting. I used to celebrate every month that we spent together by taking her out somewhere or buying something for her, and I see that as something everyone should do for their to show some appreciation that they are in your life. But this month I forgot that since it's a different date we switched to date we got married from the date when we started dating, and somehow I forgot and didn't follow the dates, and at midnight we started fighting about why I forgot to buy her something or do anything for her. I wrote her a love letter that night and left it on the nightstand, which she didn't even look at the other day. She even stopped wearing her wedding ring for that past month. When we're having those arguments there's no way to talk to her. I usually just say sorry to everything. I can't live with arguments and chaos, and I never could all my life. So I usually say sorry to anyone if I hurt them by anything I say or do. But if I say sorry, she just starts arguing with me about me saying sorry and not doing anything about it. That it'll not change how she feels. It's not going to fix it in her head, etc. Everything I say if it's not by her will. She just starts crying and spends the next hour crying and shouting at me, and I just stay silent. If I answer back, she just starts crying harder and screaming about me disrespecting her. At the moment we are arguing about why I think everything of isn't arguing. She thinks that nagging about everything and spending hours to talk about that is not arguing, but just talking. She thinks she's improving us by leading us to the right path that everyone is supposed to be on. She has some self-righteous way of seeing things and wanting to make a world a better place where everyone is perfect. Starting from changing me when everyone else is not listening. Since I have no choice but to listen. Anyway, sorry for the long post. But I needed to get this off my chest. This isn't even a little part of the things that I'm going through, and I understand that it's not great for her either. I really hate myself when she starts crying, and I know that I'm the cause of it. But there's no way pleasing her for real. I'm thinking about filing for divorce. But I have no idea how to mention that to her. Even the idea of mentioning it to her, I see her crying for days next to me, just telling me about how I stopped caring, even though I love her, and making me go on a guilt trip like she did when I tried to break up with her while we were dating. I hardly did it after trying for a month. I have no idea what to do or how to do it. I told her about counseling, but she doesn't want to talk about our problems to anyone else like I mentioned. I really see no way out of this except divorce. But even that I'm not sure about, since I still love her wholeheartedly. But I don't see a way to please her needs and desire anymore. Am I a bad guy here? Should I try something else? Should I try harder? What am I supposed to do? Wife had 3-year affair with her college professor. She claims she was brainwashed by him. Hi everyone. This is a really hard post to write, but it feels therapeutic to write this out. Hopefully I can get some advice along the way. My wife and I have been married for almost 10 years. We're both in our mid-30s. A few years ago, she decided she wanted to go back to college and get her master's degree. We both thought it was a good idea. Our married life was great and we were both very happy. It was the happiest I had ever been. When she started going back to school, life obviously got busier because she had more on her plate. After a few months, her behavior started to change. She'd stay out later than normal to study at the university library, or she'd meet up with people from class for various projects. Sometimes, she'd forget something at the office and have to go get it, even though it was late. I had a feeling something was off, but I had no proof. Everything she said made sense. Sometimes, I would verify things or try to find inconsistencies, but nothing. Everything seemed normal. I just thought I was being paranoid. One Saturday morning, I sat down to check my emails. We share a home computer, which she sometimes uses for homework. I noticed she forgot to log out of her account from the night before logging her out. I see tons of emails from one person. I didn't recognize the name, so I went to her Facebook and Instagram accounts to see if she was friends with this guy. Nope. So I Googled him and it turned out it was her college professor. He was in his 50s. Married and had 3 teenage kids. It looked like he was happily married. I was relieved and didn't think much else about it. The emails seemed innocent. I remember when I was in college, I emailed back and forth with professors all the time. From then on, I never noticed anything suspicious. Again, I thought I was being paranoid. Some time goes by and life gets easier. She was really hitting her stride with school and she wasn't as stressed or busy anymore. We had more time together and we started building a house. Life was essentially on cruise control until the nightmare began. It was a Thursday and I decided to come home early and surprise her because I wanted us to go out for dinner at this new place that just opened. As I was driving down our street, I noticed a car pulling out of my driveway. We passed each other and I immediately recognized the guy. It was her old college professor. So I immediately go inside the house and found my wife standing in the kitchen wearing just a towel. She was so stunned that she didn't even know what to say. Like she was fumbling her words, asking me why I was home. I immediately asked why her professor had just left our house and why was she in a towel. She told me I was overreacting and nothing had happened. So I went straight up to our bedroom and she tries to stop me. When I got to our room, it was obvious what had happened. I told her I was going to contact his wife if she didn't tell me everything. Finally, she broke down and admitted it all. They had been having an affair on, off for 3 years. She said it started the semester after she left his class, but she claims that she was brainwashed by him and that she didn't really want to do it. She said he was in a position of power even though he wasn't her professor anymore, and claims she was manipulated into a sexual relationship over a 3-year period. It's been a week since I found out. I moved my stuff out that next morning when my wife was at her parents' house and I contacted a divorce attorney. I feel like a zombie. None of this even seems real. My wife has been texting, calling and emailing me nonstop asking for forgiveness and a second chance. Her family's trying to contact me as well to convince me to give her another shot. Today, I finally blocked her on everything and her family. Fortunately, I have a great support system and everyone has been super helpful. I'm going to schedule an appointment with a therapist next week so I can get the ball rolling. It will take time to heal and I know I deserve better. Sorry for the long post. I really needed to get this off my chest.